Even institutions are panicking. So if you look at Grayscale's outflow, it just never stops. The day before, on Monday, we thought it basically stopped at minus 25 million. Yesterday, minus 93 million. And I wonder what it's going to be today, because you just have a whole lot of scared people out there. And it looks like it includes some institutions now, because not only did Grayscale sell 93 million, unfortunately, we had Fidelity and Bitwise also sell 35, 34 million each. So overall, yesterday was not a good day. 162 million outflow. Obviously, we still have a lot more inflow than outflow overall, but the outflow is starting to tick upwards. BlackRock, however, is holding strong. Larry Fink is like, no, I don't care. These sheep, we'll let them do what they want, but we are not selling at all. We are going to hold everything that we have. Okay, so unfortunately, the FUD, just like I've said this before, FOMO affects everyone. FUD, unfortunately, does affect everyone as well, right? It's the opposite of FOMO. And it does seem like some institutions are getting cold feet right now. But I would say most that truly understand, the ones that truly understand what Bitcoin's about, they're not going anywhere. It's only the institutions that are like kind of like retail investors that don't quite understand. They're FOMO in only because they see everyone else does. They don't really understand, and that's why they're getting out. Unfortunately, we're getting more and more liquidations. Last night, I covered about 300 million in longs liquidated. From last night to now, because we dropped a little more, now it's up to 450 million longs liquidated. And there's not that much volume to begin with. So for this, I guess this kind of volume of liquidations means that a lot of these were just like placed very long time ago, right? Like ones that's been ongoing for a while now. And of course, this is contributing a lot to our downfall, because when you have a lot of liquidations, there's a massive amount of sell pressure on the market. And when there's weakness already, it's going to drive things downwards, right? We don't even see that many short liquidations anymore, because almost everyone's just placing longs at this point, right? And it makes sense. But you got to be careful, guys. You got to be careful. I know it's fun. It's sometimes irresistible to just throw like a 20x long or whatever, because you think it's going to go up. But these days, very, very, very volatile. You got to time it right. You got to know what you're doing. You got to decrease that leverage, or just don't play with it at all. With all that said, okay, is Bitcoin going to go down further? And is what we're going through right now normal? Well, if you're looking at this from our very top of 73,000 all the way down to where we are right now, and this dropped to about 56,000, that's about a 23% retrace. Is 23% retrace normal? Well, I mean, just a few months ago, we had a 22%. And a few months before that, we had a 22%. A few months before that, we had 21%. And a few months before that, we had a 23%. So is this normal? It absolutely is normal. We have seen it many, 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 many times, even during this cycle. But I've shown many of these charts from previous cycles that actually show that, yeah, not only is this normal, there may be more coming, and they may be even more volatility, okay? In previous cycles, we have seen 30% dips, 40% dips. This is absolutely normal in any cycle, especially during bull runs. Now, this is from Coinbase, by the way. Coinbase wants to remind us this is where we are in the cycle. And if you're a betting man and you look at all the previous cycles, this is a really good spot to be. But even Coinbase recognizes that there are a lot of drawdowns. Look at over here. There have been 5 bull markets. In an average bull market, you will have to survive the following to ride to the top. 6, 5 to 10% drawdowns, okay? 3, 10 to 20% drawdowns. 2 20 to 30% drawdown, 1 30 to 40% drawdown, and 1 40 to 70% drawdown. Well, that is probably the tail end. Okay, 40 to 70%. That's crazy. But, you know, we still have at least 1 30 to 40, and these 20 to 30%, we'll probably have a lot more, okay, than just 2. But in case you're wondering, this is where we are in this cycle versus previous cycles. And you could see how volatile previous cycles were. You could see a lot of the up and downs, right? So this is where we are. And if you actually look at the black line versus all the other lines, we actually have a lot less volatility than previous cycles. Okay, so again, this is normal. It's going to continue to happen, but don't let this scare you out of the market. Here's another reason why you should not come out of the market or be scared out of the market. This is according to stock to flow from Plan B. Okay, and we have just entered a deep blue area. And you could see from previous cycles, what comes after deep blue is the red. Red means the parabolic bull cycle have started, okay, every single time. And the reason why we're here is because we had an April close of $60,000, which a lot of you guys would say, well, that's horrible. That's a down month, right? But in terms of monthly closes, that's actually really high. We haven't seen that. Okay, this is actually really good. If you look at where we were in previous cycles versus now, we're doing way better, way better than before. Okay, but you know, in crypto, it seems like everything is forgotten within like a few days, right? But I think most people don't understand that we were in the 30s, yes, 30s, just a few months ago. It wasn't that long ago. We were still 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, okay? So, when in doubt, zoom out. I've always said that. When you zoom out and you look at this and you realize, okay, it's not so bad. And where we are heading to is going to be a lot better. And this is appropriate. 100 next, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. By the time we're done with this cycle, Bitcoin will be at a level that will make you forget that we ever had all these 20% dips along the way. That's reality, okay? You're not going to remember all these 15, 20, 25% dips because they're irrelevant. They're the past.